Oh, I need some water. Okay. Alright, boys and girls. Guess who it is? It's Sean Don, back for the first time in a long time. Here is the first of hopefully many, but I'm not making any promises at all because that's just who I am as a person at this point. I'm very focused on throwing. So I don't know how long I'm going to keep doing this thing, but yeah, this is my first weekly training vlog. I'm going to try to stick with these for as long as I can. Maybe, at worst case, maybe just one per cycle, which is like every 3 weeks, so that's still pretty often compared to, you know, what I have been doing, I guess. Just pretty much going to walk you through what my training week was like, what I'm kind of doing nowadays as I start my first cycle in preparation for Tokyo 2020. So yeah, this is my throwing warm-up. This is probably going to be the only video that I'll show my throwing warm-up in, and same for the weight room warm-ups unless they change down the road, but pretty standard stuff here. I think you guys have seen most of this stuff before in my previous videos, whether it's, except for this stupid thing, I don't know why I decided this was a good idea. Looking real dumb. But yeah, so a lot of this stuff comes from, I think I did my routine video. There's another warm-up video I made, like a back health thing. This is pretty much all part of that. So yeah, single leg iso stands, that's a little bit new. Maybe I'll have to make a separate video about that sometime. But yeah, otherwise, general dynamic warm-up stuff. This is what what my typical throwing warm-up looked like at the end of last year. It's little tweaks here and there for how I'm feeling day to day. But this is generally, yeah, what my throwing warm-up looks like. So yeah, I don't know, just kind of what happens. Really nothing special. When you're warming up, obviously for throwing, you want to get your heart rate up, you want to warm up your muscles that you're going to use when you're throwing. You want it to be specific to throwing itself in its own way. But I don't know, this so far, yeah. So now we're just finally starting my specific warm-up. The rest of the stuff was that general stuff, just like I said, getting the muscles loosened, warmed up, getting some blood flow going, getting the core temp up a little bit. Now this stuff is more obviously throwing specific. And as you guys can see, I'm finally working in the Adidas throwing shoes. Normally I've been a Nike guy for almost my entire career, but with the way professional track and field works, they kind of sponsored me a little bit towards the end of last year. Not exactly, but yeah, whatever. Breaking in the Adidas throwing shoes. A lot of you guys are messaging me about that, and yeah, I don't know. So far, so good. But yeah, so moving on to stick drills. This first cycle back, I technically call it Program Zero. I don't even really consider it a training program. It's more of like something in preparation for my first training program. Yeah, so this stuff, like I'm only throwing 3 times a week right now, lifting, depending how you look at it, anywhere from 3 to 6 days a week, depending on what you consider lifting. A lot of it's just conditioning and work capacity stuff, so not really counting that too much, but totally lost my train of thought, and that was what I was worried about. I was hoping I could maintain a coherent train of thought throughout this entire video, and I've made it in about 3 minutes. Alright. Yeah, so really basic stuff here, nothing crazy. These drills aren't even like my favorite kind of hammer, you know, technical learning drills. These are just kind of like really basic stuff that I could do at home that I haven't done in a while, that I think would be good to kind of work on in preparation once again for my first real training cycle, which is when I would typically do that drill series video. I would do that drill series, my first program back, to really hammer down some hammer down some technique and stuff like that. So big things I've been working on this past week, like I said, with the stick drills, with the walk-arounds, and then with the later turn series that comes up, it's really just getting a feel for the positions and the feeling of the hammer. Again, I've taken a month off, and so the big thing I'm working on is posture, keeping my right hip underneath me on the catch. You can really see in each of these drills, I'm really trying to drop that right hip underneath me and make sure that my torso is balanced over my right hip. That way I can feel nice and powerful. If my hips are back, if that right hip is back on that first catch, then a lot of things go wrong for me. So I'm really trying to hammer down, like I said, that posture. And then outside of that, I'm trying to do things pretty slowly. If you guys can tell, obviously, none of these drills are very fast. I'm really just turning with the ball. I'm not trying to work the ball. I'm, like I said, just learning the feelings and the positions and the timing and trying to just relax as much as possible. And as you'll see on this first day, especially in the throws, I'm not as relaxed as I typically am. Yeah, just trying to relax and make things as easy and effortless as possible. Like I said, not trying to. I don't want to start, burning the midnight oil in this first program, or like I said, program 0. I think like once I get into that full-time training, like it starts the kind of the clock, the countdown of how much more time I'll have to continue to train hard. I think that's why last year I think I got a tad bit burnout towards the end of the year, because I had been going so hard for so long, and with how late everything was this year, typically a month later than usual, yeah, things just it wore on me. So taking it real slow, and my first real training program won't start until the first full week of November. But back to the overall training program. So yeah, really easy drills, really easy throws, 5-6 turns. Once again, not even trying to really work the hammer. As you can see in some of these later throws, I get a little bit more into it, but still through the entry and even the first 2 or 3 turns, I'm really not doing much except for turning with the ball, making sure I can feel the ball, try to relax my arms as much as possible, and then feeling, my hips and legs turning with the balls too. And like I said, posture still, obviously the focus, that's kind of, like I said, making sure that right hip is underneath me. As you can see in some of these throws, my hip comes back, or either way my left shoulder just pulls. And that's where most of my problems, like I said, are coming from. And some of these throws, you can see it a little bit, but for the first day, honestly, not too terrible. Like the 6K, yeah, it was a 6K for all those drills and stuff too. Felt pretty good. But yeah, moving on to the weight room. This is day 1 in the evening. Weight room warm up. Just very, once again, general stuff, core activation, I guess if you will. These goofy looking exercises, and then another general warm up, much more general than my throwing one. Very just basic, like gym class type stuff. And honestly, like, this is kind of new for me, doing this sort of stuff, and it's I kind of like it, because it is one of those things that I've been writing my training for a long time now, and I get in the pattern of doing the same things. So like even just doing these very monotonous, goofy, kind of different looking exercises, it feels good just to kind of break out of my old movement patterns and try some new things and learn some new feelings. So yeah, that's kind of what this whole weight room thing is, and some of the stuff you'll see later in the video too. Just I'm like, feel kind of goofy doing it, but it's just nice to kind of try something new and mix it up and see what happens with progress in the future. So yeah, general warm-up complete. Lifting on day 1 was pretty, pretty standard, Once again, very easy. This was not my first week of lifting. It was my first week of throwing. I had 2 weeks of bodybuilding, like lifting before this, so I wasn't going in completely, brawl dogging it. I still got pretty thrashed by the end of this first workout, but yeah, muscle snatch, front squat, and you'll see pendlay row coming up next. Pretty moderate stuff. The muscle snatch was pretty easy. The front squats kind of messed me up pretty good because my low back SI was kind of flaring up, and doing deeper squats like that just jacks it up. Pendlay rows were okay. Those were pretty heavy, and kind of felt more of like a deadlift and an aggressive shrug than it was a pendlay row, but yeah. And then just general core accessory stuff. Nothing crazy. Once again, pretty high rep core stuff for me. Usually used to stuff more in like the 8 to 12 rep range, so doing anything over that is kind of, once again, focusing on work capacity. But yeah, moving on to day 2. This is kind of more of, I guess, like an active recovery, sort of just general, once again, fitness workout for me. Starting with this jump series, pretty standard stuff. Just once again, preparing the body to do the highest quality work that it can do later on. Very basic movement patterns. In these single leg jumps, you can definitely see that my right leg is my strong leg, of course, and my left leg is a little unstable and yeah, just not great, but hopefully that'll get better over time. And then this is a new thing for me, once again, med ball extensive rebound series. So I'm doing these 4 exercises for 20 reps each with just a 5K med ball. I actually don't know how much this med ball weighs. I think it's 10 pounds, but it's supposed to be 5K, so it's 5K. But yeah, 20 reps each gets a nice burn going, and I kind of like it though. So far, I've done it, well, only twice. It was supposed to be 3 times, but twice, and I don't know, I feel like it, I don't know, I just like it. And then, like I said, so the rest of day 2 is tempo circuits, 2 different tempo circuits. This is working on cardiovascular fitness, aerobic capacity, if you will, recovery, stuff like that. And yeah, so it's 2 sets of 6 times, not 6 times through, but I guess 2 times through each exercise. I don't know. No, it's 6 sets of the cardio, so the biking or the sled bowling, and then 3 sets each of the inverted row or Russian twist or whatever it might be. So hopefully that makes sense. I'll explain it later in the video. I don't know. I'm one taking this. I'm not doing this again. So hopefully this turns out well. I think so far so good, but yeah, there's still a lot of video left to mess this up. So water break. Yeah, okay, so this is day 3, second day throwing. This is a really good day for me. I trained in the afternoon, I think, because I just didn't have a car, so I couldn't drive. Had to wait for my mom to get done with her day. But yeah, so once again, same drills, like I said. So I do block style programming for my throws, which means I have one workout that I do for the duration of a program. It's kind of Bondarchuk style-ish. That's kind of what I've always done, and it allows me to track my progress and my reactions and how my body adapts, making it very easy to peak effectively. So that's kind of why I'm doing all the same stuff. The weight room stuff changes a bit more, but the throwing program will always pretty much stay the same. I might make a little tweak here or there. But once again, like even this time of year, not really worried about it, so just kind of going with the flow. As the program, as I progress through the program, I may switch out some exercises or maybe add in some exercises depending on what I feel. Because like I said, it's the first program, or like I said, program 0, it doesn't really matter at all, because this is just essentially me playing around and having fun. Like, this is just trying to make this as fun as possible. So yeah, today I was really focused on just like relaxing the upper body and feeling the tension of the ball as it goes left around me. I want to feel it go left and then kind of pull me forward towards the sector, and then I want to react to it. So as you can see, I'm really just trying to relax and let the ball pass, and like I said, kind of turn with it, and just kind of let it get ahead of me and pull me into the throw. And I think I did a pretty good job. Like I said, I've been having some low back, right side SI issues, and Monday I'm throwing, it was flaring up a little bit. That's why front squats weren't that great. And then but today it felt good, like no pain. So I was really just able to relax and let the ball go left whenever that right side of my back is flaring up. It's really hard for me to let the ball go free, and it's really hard for me to react to the ball. So today was nice. I mean, most of these throws I like, which is, for the second day back, it's pretty good, Obviously not technical perfection, but in terms of what I'm working on, like I said, reacting to the ball, I'm happy. And then I think this is the throw where I, definitely fucked that up. So I'm throwing in like a residential park, essentially. This is where I used to play baseball as a kid and play football and stuff like that. And because there is no throwing areas that, like at any high schools, that are long enough for me to throw hammer. They only go to like 200 feet, and especially when I'm throwing a 6K. I mean, I'm not throwing far yet, but yeah, so I'm practicing in the park. It's just how it goes. I get kicked out of a lot of parks. This is what I've done my entire career, because you gotta do it. You gotta do what it takes. So yeah, once again, pretty solid throws. Finished up with wind and releases, which is also what I did on day 1. I just didn't show it because who needs to see another video of me doing wind and releases? I do them before and after each throwing session as, once again, kind of like just work capacity, specific work capacity. Even though it's very, very low intensity, it all adds up over time. So once again, weight room warm-up, similar kind of to Mondays, just different variations, B skips, karaoke, and then my terrible attempt at a skip for height when I'm getting like 6 inches off the ground. I've never felt heavier in my life, even though I'm actually in decent shape right now. Day 3 lifting was pretty solid from what I remember. The dumbbell Z press definitely went a little bit too heavy early on and had to back off later, but all in all, you know, you live and you learn. Pull-ups actually felt pretty solid. It was like 2 weeks ago I couldn't even do one, and there I was just busting out a set of 5. Strength's coming back pretty good. And then the split squat, 225, 5x6. Didn't do any hand holds, just obviously hands on the bar. And felt decent, I guess. You guys have seen me do a lot more on like a split squat Hatfield sort of thing. But yeah, once again, not trying to kill myself, just trying to prepare myself to get the fuck to work. Once again, more accessory stuff, shoulder stuff, and then back stuff. Pretty moderate weights on all this stuff. Nothing, not really going too hard, just trying to get used to all this work that I'm doing that I was not used to doing. And yeah, so this is day 4. Woke up at 5:30 in the morning to go get this workout in because I had to leave for a flight at 8. And yeah, it was just I was working my ass off in this thing, dude. Like maximum 60 seconds rest in between all of this stuff. Except for the tempo circuits because that roasted me a little bit, but yeah, so med ball mobility circuit after those bodyweight abs, and once again some different stuff for me, but it's just good just to move in a different way. So yeah, take that for what it is, I guess. When you guys are, you know, ending your seasoning or starting your season, you know, try some different things, try some things out. Maybe you'll find something helps fix your back injury that you have, or your whatever injury you have, you know, just different movements, you know, introduce blood flow and to different areas of the body and this and that and whatever, and it's good for you. So yeah, this med ball mobility circuit, it's a different stuff, but just like I guess it's just kind of another general warm-up, just doing things a little bit different. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. Good for the shoulders especially. I could feel a nice burn in there. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got about the med ball mobility circuit. I don't know. More stuff that just makes me feel like kind of dumb. Like doing this exercise in a public gym. People look at me like I'm a dumbass, but that's life. Back to the extensive rebound series. Once again, this felt much better than it did the first time. Like I actually could find a rhythm. I understood like what I needed to do to just be more efficient at it. So I sped that up, the same amount of reps and sets and stuff. And then same thing, single leg jump series for being 6 a.m., 7 a.m. felt decent. You know, I'm not like the strongest thrower as you guys saw. That front squat was only 225. That was supposed to be my 75%, and that was like 75% like RPE like 9 on most of those sets. So yeah, legs not super strong, but the jumps actually felt decent. I could feel my glutes firing. For the most part, I felt stable, except for this little, you know, a hiccup on the left leg. Just don't quite have the coordination there yet. But it's cool because once again, doing different things, I can feel like my left ankle gives me a lot of problems, and even just doing those single leg jumps side to side just kind of works in a different way and strengthens it a little bit, and it's good. So yeah, another 2 tempo circuits on this sort of active recovery work capacity day. Sled drag, push-ups, sit-ups, and then row erg face pull in and outs for abs. So yeah, the face pull was supposed to be a band pull apart, but I don't have any bands with me at home. I was dumb and did not bring them because I didn't think I would need it. I don't know. So yeah, like I said, I was rushing through these tempo circuits as fast as I could because I had a flight to catch, and by the time I finished my last set of in and outs, I laid on the ground just drenched in sweat. Maybe went a little bit too hard, but felt good. Made my flight and ended up in New Hampshire, you know, hanging out with my buddy Cullen, throwing at good old UNH, alma mater to Mike Shanahan, who most of you may come to learn about soon. He did very well at USA's this past year. And yeah, so definitely me and Cullen went out on Thursday night for some casual beers, and definitely ended up having more than a couple casual beers. And Yeah, so throwing the next morning, I was not feeling great. My first turn felt kind of off balance and just not connected. So add that on top of I just traveled the day before and did not do my nighttime recovery stretching to help mitigate my low back pain. My right side lower back was kind of jacked up. Oh, and I slept on the couch too. So throwing wasn't great. Like, I felt physically, like, it was the first time all week my abs weren't sore, which was cool, but just didn't have the coordination to really like smack some throws. I measured my best throw on the day because, I don't know, shits and gigs, is 70 meters with a 6K. That's it, 70 with a 6K. 3 days into my first block of the year. So, food for thought. I'll probably finish up hopefully about 80 in a couple weeks here. We'll see which, I don't know, which that would be pretty good fall training mark for me. So we'll see. But yeah, and then lifting on day 5, a little bit shorter. Swarm was the same as day 3 lifting. And then snatch grip, deadlift, single arm row, and landmine twist. Pretty standard, once again, workout. The landmine twist is new for me. I kind of like it. I feel like my back abs, obliques working, which is cool. But so thank you for watching. That was the entirety of my first week of training. I think next week's video should be a good bit shorter because, once again, I'm not going to show all my warm-up stuff because it's the same. Most of my throwing stuff is the same. You guys won't see all the drills unless I'm feeling really good, because it's the same for the next 3 weeks. Just volume and intensity changes a little bit. Because this whole thing, like I said, I just want it to be as bare bones as possible. I just want to put out some sort of content so you guys can partake in my journey with me. So, it's kind of it's a joint effort, because I get a lot of support from you guys, and definitely helps on the hard days, and I appreciate you guys for that. So like I said, just trying to do something I can to put out content for you guys to learn from. I don't know, it's just basic work-life balance, obviously. This stuff feels more like work than actual training does, no matter how much I complain about training. So thanks for checking in. I know this video is, like I said, a bit long, and as I continue to ramble at the end of it, so what? If you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys like what you saw, obviously like the video, hit the notification bell so you guys get updated whenever I do upload. And then make sure you subscribe, and make sure, most importantly, make sure you share the video, because that's kind of what helps me out, helps me grow, gives me more feedback, helps me grow my audience, and like I said, helps me get back to the sport. So if you found something in this video, whether it's something I said, you saw me do a certain drill a certain way, if you just found something useful in this video, some useful tidbit of information, go share that with somebody who also needs to hear that tidbit of information. Go share it with a teammate, a coach, your mom, sister, brother, dad, grandma, doesn't matter. Just go share it with them. Share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram. I would appreciate the help. You guys are the reason why Sean Don is Sean Don. So once again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the support throughout the years. And let's go make an Olympic team. Peace out.